Hey, everybody. Welcome back. This is Tad with YouHaveTheRight.com. It is, May the 7th, 2024. And we have Donnie here with us tonight. He is the kind of the founder, if you will, of the cash in on bad credit process. And so, Donnie, I believe you have an update for us.
Yes.
Lay it on us, man.
Okay. Thanks for having me back on the show. I appreciate it.
Sure.
A couple things for all who are nice enough to spend the time with us tonight. I really appreciate anyone who joins Tad's program, spends their hard-earned cash supporting this man. I've known him years, and all he's wanted to do was help people and bring good content to the public. And so I know sometimes it's tough to write a check, $30, $40, $50 or whatever, but if you're doing that and you've been supportive of this man, I really appreciate it. I say that sincerely. If you first time listening to me, I kind of suggest you go back. There's a couple of shows, that's up on your website, Ted? They can go back and review
we have kind of our public shows on YouTube. You Have the Right Site channel.
Okay. And that way they're not so far behind, hopefully, because I want to do some catch-up, a little updating. I want to speak about debt collectors, which we haven't spoken about a whole bunch. And then if you have any questions, like last time, you're going to take some questions at the end?
Yeah, we'll have questions.
Okay.
So this call is primarily for the bad credit stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, we may be adding debt collector stuff in the future.
A little later. Okay. All right.
Yeah, like I said, I want to get things
right.
all settled with this.
Okay.
So,
for what anyone who listened to my call, what I've discovered, and it's kind of like it was shocking to me. There's a couple things here. The FCRA is the code for credit regulating agencies and our protections. Congress gave us a lot, in my mind, very powerful protections that these businesses just railroad us and run over in doing business with us. And so in discovering this, I figured it's been very hard for me and Tad. We both have been on the phone, a lot of energy trying to find an attorney who will come and back us and work with us. And to date, we still haven't found one that's really, I'm speaking to 6 attorneys right now. So far, no one's really pulled the trigger. So I said, why am I waiting on an attorney? Let's go take a small claims court. Let's get a response. Let's see if what the Congress is saying is this is powerful of the courts, how they're going to act. So that's the good news, that we're doing this. We're taking and we're doing small claims actions. We've done them. I'm kind of slowing down because I know now how they're going to respond. I know what their response is, and I can assure everyone who's listening they have no response for what you're putting before the court. I am not an attorney. I say that with glee, to be very truthful, because I don't think I would think the same. I don't think I'd be on the phone if I was looking at this through the lens of an attorney. I don't have legal advice. We need an attorney. I'm not putting them down. We need an attorney to see it through a different legal advice, but take what Tad and I have discovered and can bring to everyone on this call. The attorneys, it's kind of weird. They all kind of think alike, which is kind of strange. I mean, seriously, it's scary in a way. But Congress said, okay, you have these protections. If they are reporting things, I think we all know, inaccurately, we can dispute their inaccuracy, which is true. And when I first came on, I kind of felt bad because I didn't want no one to think that this is the only reason what I'm saying that you can dispute or go to small claims court for. You can dispute inaccuracies. That is one way of disputing. You can dispute under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCR. You can dispute because what they're disputing is unfair to you. I don't think you win that battle, but you can certainly dispute that. That's what the Fair Credit Reporting Act is. And you can also dispute them putting it in your report. FCRA Section 623(7)A Dodd-Graham-Leach-Biley Act. They have to give you a 30-day notice before or after putting anything negative in your credit file. That's huge to me. They must. There's some things in law that give them a lot of legal room. But if you know anything about law, and I hate to talk about law because I'm not an attorney, and when I started doing credit repair, I didn't think that I would be dealing with law and legal terms. But here I am. So if it says they must, they shall, there is no wiggle room. Must and shall in law. Congress says they must give you a 30-day notice before or after. And Congress made it easy for these people to do it. They say you can stick this notice in the bill to Mr. Mays. Send them a bill for $8,000 and stick the notice in there. We're going to put it on your report. To me, that's really huge. And on top of that, in the world that we've known, and Tad would know, and we've developed, I've known this man years, they have to give us a remedy. I don't care what we're doing. It's there. Whether we found it or not, they have to give us a remedy. And that's our remedy. The remedy is to give you a 30-day notice. Now, let me show you how dumb these clowns are. If 10 years ago they had sent me a 30-day notice, I'm going to put this in your report, Mr. Mays, that you didn't pay back for 3 months. So what? How many people would have known what to do with it? I wouldn't. But now today, I know what to do with that notice. If I was supposed to get it, I know that's our remedy. I know we have the ability now, the power to tell them what to do with that notice. So they don't want us to have this power. They have the power. They send us a bill. They raise it to 8,000% interest. They charge us for a bounce check. They stick it in your report. They don't bother to tell you. They sell it. What power do we have? It changes. It's changed. So when you go to small claims, if you go to small claims, keep it simple. Understand it's what they have to do. Do not understand they have no legal, lawful response. As we talk now, I want everyone to understand small claims is what I came up for, efficiency. Everyone wants their credit report done yesterday. Unfortunately, if you're dealing with the courts, if you're dealing with credit repair, you know nothing happens yesterday. It just doesn't work that way. So what's the next speediest way Donnie could come up with that we could find some type of remedy, especially if you've been doing like me, because sometimes I'll do a report, it's got 10 items on there, and there's this one that just gives me grief. It could be Target, it could be First Premier, it could be just one that I don't care what you do, they're not going to take that off. But I would now tell anyone when I come up against that one that I know is going to give me grief, I know not to write up 10 letters, I know not to do complaints, I know to go straight to small claims or any other court. When we do this, and I'm not encouraging suing, I'm telling you what Congress gave you the right to do in case these people are not following the law. So Congress gave me the right, the permission, the power to sue for these people damaging me or putting the stuff in my report or reporting it inaccurately. That's your option. I didn't give it to you. It's there. I'm going to take advantage of it. And when we find attorneys, I'm going to ask for a lot more money than what we're doing in small claims court. If you're I'm in California, Tad's up north. Which state you're in, if you're going to do this, I recommend you learn your state local law. You can help your friends. I want you to help your friends. I want you to help your family. I want you to help your coworkers, people who you love and care for. Who should have bad credit? No one. Teach your children, your grandchildren, how to fight and protect themselves from these people. Unless you think it's going to get better in the future, then Congress enacted, and then every time they've had a chance to weaken or even kill the FCRA, they've always strengthened it. Not one time have they weakened it. And yet the agencies and the lenders still what? Totally ignore it. Totally. I have not seen one lender in 6 years comply with the FCRA. Not one. Not one. Now, in California, where I am, California has given the consumer the most important. These are privacy issues. Understand the consumer privacy. You have a right to privacy. If I go to the doctor and the doctor tells my foot's going to fall off, I've got cancer or whatever, bone marrow, whatever I got, I have a right to privacy. How many of us on this phone will want all our neighbors, our friends, our family to know that my brain's going to fall out of my head? I've got pneumonia. That's the right to privacy. People go to church. They do this thing called confession. A lot of churches have that. What you tell that preacher is protected by Congress. That's privacy. You have the same right to privacy in your personal business affairs. I don't know how much anyone on this call owes anybody. I don't care who you owe if you owe. That's your personal, what Congress says, non-published information. And when they put it in your report, they're doing what? They are violating your basic right to privacy. One bank sticks it and gives it to Experian. Experian turns around and sells it to whoever the heck they want. That's protecting your right to privacy, right? And they don't bother to tell you who they sold it to, and they don't bother to give you a commission check.
Identity theft.
It's identity theft. You stole the words. I want to tell everyone on this call, if someone has your non-published information and you did not give it to them, LexisNexis, if you did not give it to them, SageStream, if you did not give it to them, Enosis, if you did not give it to them, Equifax, what is that, Tam?
Identity theft.
That is identity theft. If they take your non-published information and sell it at a profit, that is aggravated identity theft. We're going to stay away from debt collectors tonight, so it becomes worse with debt collectors. That's a different ballgame. If you're dealing with a debt collector, it's a different world. So we play little games with them. I like to set them up for what we're looking for in the future. If you got to get your report done, do it. You want to make your move, I understand it. If you want to set them up for bigger paydays, we do a few little other things. This is what Congress said for us to have the ultimate protection. Congress said we write the agencies, Equifax, Experian, Transunion, and then Transunion notifies whatever lender you are allegedly disputing with. If you're disputing, I try not to dispute. And when I don't dispute, they always write back and say, you're a dispute.
All right.
I don't even use the word dispute, and they turn around and write back, our clients back and say, in your dispute, wait. I don't use the word dispute. That's the word I believe is to help them. I would challenge them. I would show them the law. I would demand. I don't dispute. But if you write the agencies and do any of those things, dispute, they are supposed to now trigger and you send it over to Bank of America. And Bank of America is supposed to do their investigation and then send it back to TransUnion. And then TransUnion Experian send you back a letter say, we looked into it, boom, 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 boom. That's the number one way you protect your rights. I tell you that because I don't want you going to court and get kicked out on that basis. When I first started this business, that wasn't important to me. I didn't care if I wrote B of A first. I don't know. That's not what Congress said do. So if you got time, you're just starting. Now, a lot of you have already written these people. You might have written them 6 months, a year. You have a problem still getting this off. If you've already done it, fine. But that's the way it should be done in the future. Do it the way Congress tells you to protect your rights when you go after them about suing and getting remedy. Next, once you get that letter, we set them up. There's several different ways. Understand, Congress says we can ask them to verify whatever's in your report, validate whatever's in your report, and by law, they can never do either. Even though I've got 100 letters saying they verified or validated, which means they lied. That's great. Because when we go to court and we can show that they lied, guess what? The damages can be increased. So when I tell you to do these little things, we're setting them up. We want to make them look bad. We have a person on the East Coast right now. We wrote LexisNexis. There's a couple of things. These people are jokes. When you start dealing with them, they're dumber than rocks. Most of them know the law. The people at the top know the law. The big boys in the offices and the limos, they know the law. The people at the bottom, they know nothing. So we wrote LexisNexis. We told them to verify this gentleman's information in his report, his bankruptcy. And LexisNexis wrote us back and told us they didn't have enough information to verify the information on this bankruptcy. But when we wrote Experian, Equifax, and Transunion to verify it, they wrote back and said it was verified. Those three, they get all their information on bankruptcies from LexisNexis. So if we have a letter from LexisNexis saying we don't have enough information to verify you, and if those three wrote back and said we verified you, is someone lying?
Sure seems like it.
Yeah. We can ask for the moon when we go to court, and we're real close. We also wrote LexisNexis, and we did a complaint saying you stole my identity. Exactly what Tad just said. This is identity theft. These people have stolen my identity. And LexisNexis wrote us back and said, no, Donnie, I didn't steal your identity. So I guess if they wrote me back and tell me they didn't steal it, I guess, well, they didn't steal it. No, we didn't take that. So we wrote them back with a report to the agencies, to the people we complained to. Explain to us how it's not identity theft. Mr. LexisNexis, explain how it's not identity. I know you're a big corporation. I know you make millions. But explain to me how it's not identity theft if I didn't give you my information. Never heard from them again. Trying to show you guys the power of what you do. The Consumer Protection Financial Bureau, CFPB. That's the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau are the two things set up by Congress to regulate and govern these bankers and their dealings with us, the consumer, and the agencies. To me, they're pretty weak. They don't do a lot. But there's a couple things we've learned. There's two divisions. Everyone should understand this. There's two sides to the CFPB. There's an administrative side and there's an enforcement side. So if you're having a problem with the lender or the agencies or both, you want to write the CFPB, but you make sure you write it to the enforcement side. The other side just does nothing but push paper. It does make a difference. If you have a bankruptcy in your report, and I know again, to me, we should have been filing 2 years ago. We have the templates. We've already filed one, which is great because we know how they're going to respond. They do not have a response. The people lied. They quoted one code and forgot They skipped over the two codes that are to our benefit as consumers to get to the one code that seems to support their position. And that's hilarious. I guess they think we're the ones found the food. We're the ones with the information. We don't know what we put in there. So I'm telling everyone, if you're on the right path, you're on the right. Please keep it simple when you go to small claims. Set them up. I've given letters. These are not the greatest letters. These are letters we want. When I do a credit repair, I make mistakes. People tell me, you misspelled that word. Yeah, I did on purpose. Because I want them to think this is not coming from a professional. I want them to think that you can out-trick me. You can outsmart me. That I'm dumb. It doesn't have to be perfect, people. When I really screw around, when I write by hand. Oscar computer system does not read handwriting. A real live human has to touch my paperwork. Don't try to be perfect. Make your point. You need to know how to read a report. If you don't know, because there's 100 different companies out here, you can get a credit report. My credit report, free credit report. And then it's unique. If you don't know, ask somebody. Do not screw it up. I recommend a good paralegal. A good paralegal is worth their weight in gold. And most of the paralegals I know, not like, but all my life, they're not making a lot of money. So if you're bringing them business or potentially going to bring them business from my cousin, my sister, my brother, they will bend over backwards to help you. My experience. Once you know this stuff, it's like riding a bicycle, riding roller skates. You don't forget. And Congress has backed us for over 50 years, even though Congress has not chosen to enforce it for over 50 years. We have to enforce it ourselves. Learn to reread the report. It's important. I cannot remember reading a report where there was not an inaccuracy. So if you find one, you have enough money to finance your other things you're going to do if you're going to sue these people. If you find one, and there's always an accuracy. The problem with the courts, in any court, if I run into my car and take it run the back of Tad's car, I think Tad can show damage. His car's been damaged. He's hurt. He's beat up. We have to be able to show damage to the courts. Otherwise, the courts are not going to give you $1. Now, understand, I don't like to tell anybody a show or share. I have not done. I've been to small claims court. I've seen the judges. I've seen these clowns they send to court. They are liars and idiots. I don't know if that's order.
So I would like to share that I had a gentleman contact me this last week. He put in the small claims court, I believe in Michigan or somewhere like that, against a bank that made a negative report on his credit report. And the bank's attorney just called him right up and said, okay, what would you settle for? No argument, no hardball or anything. They just basically said, okay, you got us. And so this guy, he's ready to go, take it off my report and pay me for the maximum amount, which wasn't very much.
Yeah, but number one, you get your report clean. Most of us want to make something do credit-wise, and it might be something that pops up a week from now. But what if your credit's screwed? Now you can't do it. I'm walking down the street, I see a car. Oh boy, half price. Your credit's messed up. Get your credit done. Get it fixed. Help others be in the same position. No one should have bad credit. Understand what they're doing. When you go to court, they're violating your right to privacy. They are defaming you. They are slandering you. These are issues that a higher court will look at. But you need to know why you're there. They're violating your right to have input into your non-published information. Congress said they can report all day long. We're not saying they can't report. Congress said to do so, you got to jump through a couple of hoops. And they don't want to do that. So what they're doing, what we're not trying to get philosophical here, Frankenstein at this point has been running the show for 50 years. You have a computer at Experian, sends out to a computer at JCPenney's, Target, First Premier, and then the computer at First Premier sends back to the computer at Experian, and then the Experian sends out a letter to Donnie, says verify. Which is why I write them by hand. Half the letters I send out by hand. If you got to do that, you better make sure they can read it. Because some people's writing is pretty bad. But
all right, Donnie, are you ready for some Q&A?
I certainly am.
Okay, you guys, if you want to ask a question, hit *6 on your phone. And we'll go to our first caller right here. Hopefully this works. Hello.
Yes, my name is Donnie. My question is, everyone's gotten their student loan paid off but me at Arnbag. I have a fantastic form that I send to debt collectors and they go away. But the last one that contacted me, they're taking 15% of my Social Security check, and I believe any day now they've been sending it to the debt collector. I don't understand that.
You got a lot of things going on there. Did they take you to court to do all this, or no?
No, they just I made all the debt collectors, no less than a dozen, go away with that letter. But
right.
when I began drawing Social Security, they just began taking it out of my check.
Right. You got a lot of moving parts there. Unfortunately, it's a little more complicated.
Okay.
The people you owe the student loan money to, you know who they are? Is that correct?
No, that loan's...
Go ahead.
I'm listening.
No, go ahead.
I would have thought that would have been the Department of Treasury or the school people.
Okay. Okay. First of all, it says the government, Department of Ed, never gives loans any money. They always go through a private bank. So you need to, I would go pull your credit report. You see that it's on your credit report. Is that correct?
I have.
Okay. I would write to people who the address and everything on your credit report, ask them to verify the debt. TAD has a debt collector, the letter or whatever letter you send. You want them to verify it because you want to know if they have the loan. Now, what happens 9 out of 10 times?
Right now, we're not doing anything with debt collectors
I'm sorry.
at the site.
I'm sorry. Yeah, but your brother's gonna have to get the TAD a little bit. I'm sorry. I apologize. And you're right. I messed up. Donnie, get back to it. Just stay in touch with TAD and please follow it. We'll take care of it. Okay.
Appreciate you, Don.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about that, TAD. You did say that.
All right. Let's see. Our next caller, 415 area code.
Hi. I had a situation with Wells Fargo maybe 2 years ago where there was a credit card debt for $10,000. I received a court order. Didn't show up to court. I was kind of just hoping it would go away. Next thing I know, the full amount was withdrawn from my bank account that I did have with Wells Fargo at the time. Do you think it's worth going back and trying to get remedy for any of that?
Yes, it's a little tougher road right now, but yes, I would do that. Certainly do it.
How much do they take, if you don't mind me asking?
$10,000, and at the time it put me in a hardship, really bad. So I'm still kind of recovering. California.
Oh, California. That's $12,000. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Donnie, what I see here is if you could check your credit report and see if they're on there, the easiest way to deal with this is to do the credit report process that we have, the cash on bad credit process, and go through the process and then sue them for the full amount of California, which is $12,500.
Okay.
And that will bring them to the table. Now, what you could do, well, I don't know. I was trying to think if there's, Donnie, another lawsuit that she could file. Then
it sounds like a couple, maybe, yeah. It depends
as long as they're coming to the table, use that as leverage to get maybe even more than the $12,500.
Mm-hmm.
You need to see if they got a court order somewhere, or did they just take the money. There has to be a court order. If not, that I can't believe a bank they do anything, wicked stuff. But you need to find out if there's a court order. If it's in your credit report, you can go back up to 4 years on your credit report to see if it was in there at some point 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and then that is right. You do have options. If it was me, you're asking, I would do that. Yeah, very much.
Okay, I'm going to look into the course. I know it was on my credit report at some point after they took the $10,000. Maybe it took a few months, but then they wiped it out, saying it was paid off in full.
Okay, how long ago was that?
About 2 years ago.
Okay, you can go back 4 years. Go get your credit report 4 years ago. And then you probably need to get in touch with Tad for a coaching, to be very truthful with you.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you. 254 area code.
Hi, this is Debbie, and I am calling first to ask if this call is recorded and how we access that, because I have a poor connection and I'm getting some of it but not all of it.
Yes, it'll be up within the next week, within the next few days maybe, on YouTube, at my website, at my channel rather. You Have the Right Site.
Okay. Perfect. In a couple days. I'm sorry, you said a couple days?
It might be, or it might be up to a week. I don't know.
Okay, not
Depends
a
on
problem.
when I can get to it.
Good. And then my question is, I'm in another court case, so I've been pretty tied up with that. And because I didn't tend to some of my credit issues before, I've got a credit card that sued me. And about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I responded. They filed a suit in the district court in my county, and I answered, and I didn't hear anything for literally 2.5 years. And then all of a sudden I get a notice from the clerk of that court saying I have a jury trial on July the 30th with the same credit card company. But here's the problem. It's not the original. It's some lawyer that has bought the debt. So he's not even the original lender. So
Very rarely are they. Go ahead.
What's that?
About half the time they're not the original lender. That's nothing unusual.
So do I countersue? Or just go to that jury trial and ask these questions that we're going to learn from in these forms that we have?
Excuse me, what state are you in?
Texas.
Okay, you're in Texas. We can fix that one. You want? That's the easy fix. Get in touch with Tad. Tad, she can get in touch with you.
Okay.
Is it just the email you have? Or?
Yep.
Okay. Email you? Okay.
Yeah, just email.
Okay, very good.
And mention that you talked to him about this subject, okay?
So are you currently a member as well?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, I've been a member for years, back when you were dealing with, the FTC3 back then even.
Oh, okay.
So that's great.
We really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this information. I'm looking forward to it.
You bet, Debbie. Okay, so 845. Go ahead. 845.
Hello, Tad. Hello, Donnie.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yep, go right ahead.
So, Donnie and Ed, in the first call that you guys did a few months ago, it sounded like these small claims filings were not even being responded to. Nobody was showing up to court. With the additional work that you've done, are you still finding that?
Okay. Let me correct that. They are showing up to court. But the goal is not to go to court. So
right. Okay.
A lot of them are going to go to court because attorneys get paid for, what do they get paid for? Paperwork and more paper.
Yep.
The ones we've had, about 50% go to court. Now, the 50% we go to court, we've actually lost a couple, but not because the Tad knows the one against American Express. So some garbage, a couple times garbage. But they do not have a legal response. They're praying when they show up that the judge rules in their favor regardless. We had a case like that against the Department of Ed. The judge, we actually were training the judge in this one court. We've been in there about 8 times in one court. And the judge asked the Department of Ed, are you in compliance with California Code 1785.26? And the lady for the Department of Ed said, what is that? If she doesn't know what the code is, how is it possible they're in compliance? Understand they have 30 days to prepare their work to come to court. And in 30 days, what was her response? The judge still ruled for her. Now, that's a bad story. That's a bad one, but it's not over because, as I explained to my people, we're still going, there's other issues we're going to do when we go back to a higher court. What's the good part about that? There's no response. This lady had 30 days to prepare and didn't know what the hell the judge was talking about. So we don't want to go to court, but if you do, be prepared. And understand, if you keep it simple, if you lose, you still can take them to the higher court. Not on the same issue, but we have other issues. And that's why I'm really pushing now what we're doing now, where we're going to go. Well, I think I'm going to be able to recommend that you go in and just ask for injunctive relief. But I'm not even trying to get $1 out of this thing. I don't even want court time. I just went off my report. And you still can go after you get off the report for the higher thing. So no, we've had really good stuff. We just settled with Midland. We sued Midland, the largest in the world, the largest in the country, debt collector. They took 2 reports off, 2 negative trade lines, broke the client. Waived $17,000 in debt, and wrote the client a check of $1,500. So this is the kind of stuff they don't have. You're going to have these butt heads just like in life. So understand, what you got to do is keep it simple, stick with the process, stick with the template, and this is it.
Nice.
You don't want to go to
Of the 50% that have been going to court, what percentage of those come out with a win? If you have,
we've had about
obviously
70%. We've had 2
70?
cases where the judges had a case up in the Sacramento area where the judge threw the case out because he said it was the wrong venue, which is a lie. And again, because under the FCRA it says a court of what, Tad?
Competent jurisdiction.
Yep. Any court. The judge threw it out because he said this is not the right court for this. So we didn't get a win there. But the judge was, and we're going to do a complaint stuff on the judge. The judge just didn't want to rule. It's David versus Goliath. It's Frankenstein taking out. We're the creators. He didn't want to rule on it.
Yeah, you're at the mercy of the judge a lot of times.
Absolutely. And then we had a judge out here. I went to in Southern California, and the judge actually let me talk to the client, which was kind of shocking. But the judge told me reword it and come back. He said, I want you to reword it. Now, he couldn't give me legal advice on the bench, whatever, but I knew what he was talking about. So when I come back to you guys, I've already reworded it. So those two cases, we didn't get a win, but we did learn. And we should have got a win.
Have you, on the ones that you have won in court with, have you used those index numbers and cited those cases on future cases?
Yes. In court, there's two things. Your paperwork really is your words. In court, like in small claims, the judge says, okay, you can talk to this lady, and I get to talk to you at the trial. But in theory, I can easily, anyone on this panel can put the wording and say, Your Honor, my words are in my paper. You don't have to. So you cite what you want the court to hear and see, and the judge, in most times, has already read or should have read your complaint before they got there. That's the way it works in the real perfect world, whether it actually works like that, depending on the caseload and other junk. You know, I've been to court where it's two cases in there. They got 8 hours to do nothing. Hopefully they read my damn complaint. Okay? So, it just, you know, there's a lot of variables. But number one,
have you used your case? Sorry. Yeah. Have you used your own, like from the people that you've helped, or for you personally? Have you used the index numbers from those cases that were victorious? Because it's the same thing. You're using almost the same template. It's, you're attacking. No.
The courts, I found this out 40 years ago the hard way. The judge is, they won't look at that. They will look at case law that's established, what they call published case law. But if I say, on this case here I won, they're not going to do that. They won't do it. They'll just say,
okay. I got you. Okay.
What you bring to the court today. So that's what I'm telling you. Everybody go in there. So you don't want to go to court, any court, and talk about 1,000 things. You don't want to talk about 100. You get a judge 100 reasons to rule against you. And what they are doing and what try to do is confuse the judge. I don't believe they confuse the judge. I just think the judge takes their way out when he can. Because we're talking about, I didn't get a 30-day notice. I don't want to talk about anything else in here. I don't care what kind, the sky or your dog, your cat. And the attorney from the other Bank of America, they're a real disaster. He started talking about she didn't pay her bill. She knew what does that have to do with whether I got my notice? So these little games that they're playing, so that's important because we know Bank of America's response. They don't have one. So now when we go and sue Bank of America in the higher court, they better start writing checks. Because if it took you 30, Apple asked the courts for 30 more days. So they had 60 days to prepare to fight against TAD. Put up a defense of what TAD is telling you guys and showing you and encouraging you to do on this call. And the response was they didn't pay their bill. Does that have anything to do with them being in compliance with? We have several different codes they're breaking. But we're just talking about one. So if you go to court, and if you get railroaded, if the judge had whatever, you still have remedy. This is a quick way. It's an efficient way. It's the way the judge up in Northern California told my client, I've been on this bench 30 years and have never seen what you presented. Everyone on the call.
Thank you.
Kicking in new doors. So do it. Stay in touch with TAD. Please be a member. Get your friends and family because no one should have bad credit.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, brother. Please, good luck.
Okay, 720. Go ahead.
Ted, you told me to let you know when I'm going to court. I'm going to go to court this week. And
well, how long have you known that?
Special? Say what?
How long have you known that?
That I was going to court?
Yeah.
Well, I just decided to go this week because.
Okay. So you haven't filed yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. I thought you had a court hearing. I'm sorry. All right.
No.
Well, okay. Big step. So you sent in the letter to the lenders and waited 30, 40 days, and did they say anything? Did they respond?
Well, they responded with all kind of junk.
Okay, well, you didn't send it to me.
How am I going to send it to you?
You scan it and put it into an email.
Oh. So
why don't you do that first before you go to court? Let's take a look at what they wrote.
Okay, now I have about four different alleged lenders. So you want me to do all of that, send it all to you?
Well, I told you to start with one.
Okay.
Okay, so you find the one that tickles your fancy the most and send me that letter. And
okay.
We'll do that one. So once you get through one case, then you'll be better prepared to take two cases.
Okay.
Do them all at once. Just for right now.
Send them a copy of the complaint too. The complaint that you're going to file in the court, send out a copy. So
right. Well, let's take a look at your letter first, and then send me the complaint that you're going to fill out. Let's make sure that everything is relevant.
Okay.
Okay? So you got to stay in touch with me on this. When you get something, then you have to get back in touch with me and let me know about it, okay? But don't just sit on it.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you. 214 area code. Go ahead.
Yes. Thank you for taking my call. I've got a adverse action notice from a credit card application, and it goes down through the reasons why they denied me credit. I'm just wondering if I have how to respond to these people. There's too many.
Okay,
go ahead.
You applied for credit, and they turned
Yes.
you down. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
And what reason did they cite for turning you down?
Okay, there's 4 of them here. Too many recent inquiries. Payment on your open accounts is too low. Too many recent credit inquiries. Number of satisfactory accounts on file.
Okay.
That's it?
Yes, that's it.
So.
And they list Experian and LexisNexis.
Okay, that's great. Go ahead, Ted. You want to finish or?
Well, I don't know how to deal with this.
Okay. First thing you want to do, you should be thankful that you got the letter. Anyone on the call, if you ever get turned down, you need that turned down letter. Sometimes they'll send it to you, sometimes they don't. If they don't send you it, call them and demand it. Congress says they must send you what they did with this gentleman. That's a good thing. Do you have your credit reports? Have you pulled your credit reports?
Yes, they've got a credit score listed down here at 717.
You have your credit reports. Have you pulled your credit reports?
Yes, I have.
Do you know the inquiries? Have you looked at your inquiries?
Yes, I don't have it in front of me.
Okay, that's okay. I want to make sure you can read your report. Now, for everyone listening, if there is an inquiry in your credit report that you did not physically sign for someone to pull your credit, I hope everyone's getting this because most of the applications are done online today. If you did not physically sign your name on that inquiry, that is identity theft. It's especially acute in the auto industry. because I go into this Honda dealership to buy a car, and what does that dealership do, Tad?
They pull your credit report.
And then if they can't finance me, what do? They
shop around.
There you go. 5, 6, 10 different lenders. Did you give lender number 8, 9, 10 your written permission to pull your credit? Those have to come off. So, sir, what I'm telling you, if these people are inquiries on your report, if you do not if they do not have your written signature somewhere, you need to get those taken off. You can take them off themselves, or you can contact CAD, have them do it. You can do, I'm going to give you the keys, do a Federal Trade Commission report. And your complaint is that these people have these inquiries in my report, and they do not have my written is the key. I hope everyone caught that. Authorization to put these in my report. Experian, Equifax, whoever has to produce your written signature in order to keep that in your report. Okay. So that's the first thing you want to do. The next thing you want to do, if there's any negatives, obviously clean up your report. You want to keep that letter, because when something on inquiries, if you have an open account with Target and there's an inquiry with Target, you cannot take that inquiry off because they will close the account. So if you have an inquiry with a company that you're actually doing business with open, you don't want to attack that inquiry. But if it's just an inquiry because you applied or allegedly applied somewhere and got turned down and still in your report, okay, you don't need that in your report. And you don't want it.
Okay.
You had another question?
Yes, sir. This is this adverse action notice came via email. Is that sufficient, or should be through the USPS?
I'm sorry, I missed it. It came through email, and
is that the same as receiving?
Just print it out. Not a problem. Just print it out. Yeah, just print it out.
Okay.
You print it out. You get the adverse action. You fill it back in, and you get it into everybody. You should never get turned down for credit.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for your help. Thank you for your service.
We really appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Next
Bye.
caller, 917 area code.
Hello?
Yes, hi there.
Hi, yes. Thank you for taking the time to do this. So I had an issue with my mortgage lender last year. I was trying to defer payment because I didn't have enough for that month. And then on the phone, they said that the payment was deferred, and I had some time before they would report it or do any adverse, anything. But then a month or two later, I was receiving like foreclosure documents. They reported it to my credit report, and then they really messed up my credit. So I've been really, it kind of put me in a hardship because I had to pay lump sums to try to get, catch back up. And I'm wondering, is this something that I could potentially get my credit fixed? Because now when I try to do anything, I was going to see if I can get like a home equity line of credit. I was denied because of my credit report.
Do you still have your denial letter of credit?
It was last year, so I can look. I might have it.
Everyone on this call, we don't want to get denied. We don't want to be in that position, me, anybody. But if you get denied, your letter of credit is proof that you've been harmed, your letter of denial. You should embrace that. Sleep with it under your pillow. That's why Congress gets a remedy from Congress. Congress said they must give you that letter, and you might want to cash it in. Yes, absolutely. You need to get you know how to read your credit reports, I'm presuming?
Yes.
You have more than one item with your mortgage company on there?
No, I just have one item with the mortgage lender.
And that's the mortgage company that's doing all this? Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty easy fix. You're in New York, 917, is that correct? Or maybe you were before?
I was. I'm in Maryland.
Okay, that's good. I would, yes, this is very viable. Hopefully it's quick and simple. I would check and see what's the time frame to get into court there. I would also, maybe I'm going to recommend you get in touch with Tad for coaching, to be truthful, and Tad, if the gentleman wants to do that, we'll both tackle this one because I haven't dealt with Maryland before.
Okay.
And we'll do a little research and see if we can help you. Yeah, you go back in. There's a couple of things there, and this is their famous trick, but we're going to flip this on them. You got how much was the denial? Well, you don't know. See if you can find the paper, and then a denial letter, and then get in touch with Tad. Okay. And I don't know what he charges for coaching, to be very truthful with you, but he's got bills too. But we can get you straightened out.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. One item, and look at the damage they do, people. One item, and it's something that can be easily forgiven. And they do have forgiving. They do. Every lender has forgiveness document policies. About half of them refuse to honor their own policies.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll move on to our next caller. 540. Go ahead.
So Monday invited me to the call this evening, and I'm a real estate agent in Virginia. And I thought it would be great to know or to learn some things to help clients with bad credit. But I did want to ask you a question for myself. I have a fraudulent credit card with Citibank, and I haven't checked my credit, but I know for a fact they update monthly, so they're probably they definitely are hitting my credit every month. They went ahead and set it to collections.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon?
Yes,
yeah. So they sent it to collections, and a collection agency is reaching out to me.
Wow.
Sorry?
I said, wow. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Do you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Ma'am, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know if you heard me. So, yeah, Collections has reached out to me, but Citibank, it's all fraud that was charged on my account, $30,000. And, yeah, I know. It was all Amazon charges. And so I've been learning some different processes. And so I handled part of it handled all of it with Citibank. For whatever reason, they didn't do all the work on their end. So I'm going to go through the credit card. But, and technically they owe me money. I don't owe the money because I continued paying on it during, the curing activity or stage where they were checking to see if it was fraudulent and how they were going to handle it. So I continued paying on it. And anyway, I was learning different processes on how to handle it instead of doing it the regular way. And it went to collections. So that's where we are right now. I'm going to try to remedy this with Citibank, but I'm going to have to get it off my credit. And as far as I'm concerned, it's untruthful information.
Well, absolutely. Can I ask what you've done? Did you file a police report?
No, I didn't. I called the fraudulent department right away. And whenever there's been fraud on my credit card before, go ahead.
You need to file a police report about those charges. Okay.
Okay.
The police, if you go in physically, they will fight us sometime as consumers. I would try to do it over the internet. And if you have to go in, you have to go in. You have to be firm because they back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, everybody was doing ID theft reports. And so they look at it with a wary eye, which yours is very legitimate. There's an IRS form 1414039, identity theft. You want to file that with the IRS, 140143 on it. 14039. You say one of them. Brain for the scram. It's either 14039 or it's 14039. Identity theft IRS.
Okay.
You want to file that with. This is protecting you for the future. If they can do that, just someone has your information. Okay.
Okay.
And then you want to do a Federal Trade Commission identity theft report. These are all very simple. You're in real estate. You can easily do these.
Yep.
On that particular card, those particular charges, you have no knowledge they are not yours.
Okay, I'm sorry. Repeat that again, just because I was writing.
On that charge, with Citibank or whoever it is, on those charges, they are not yours. They're fraud.
Correct.
It will ask you on your FTC, do you know who did this? If you know who did it, you know. If you don't know, you don't know.
Okay.
Now you want to submit all three of those to Chase and to whatever dummy debt collector they've transferred it over to.
Okay.
Tad has, do we have a ID theft document, Tad, to your knowledge? Do you have one, young lady, with the other things you've done?
I do not.
ID theft. Okay.
I do not.
All three of those documents with it to Chase and to the debt collector. So what you're doing, you're getting rid of it, but you're also protecting yourself for the future. Because people, if I'm stealing people and I'm doing this, what's going to stop me from doing the same thing next year or 3 years from now?
Right, that's correct.
So you want to protect yourself today, and you want to get that off. If you have a problem with that, and what I would also do, have you been turned down for credit in the past because of this?
No, not currently. I haven't. Surprisingly, I opened up a Bank of America credit card. But I think I may have done it just prior, anticipating that would be happening.
Okay. Well, you might check and see for sure, because if they have damaged you by reporting false information, fraudulent information, then you certainly, under Congress says, have a claim of action. And just getting it off your report is one thing, but just the stress and time and money and energy, you're not getting compensated for that. All you're doing is getting them to do the right thing.
Okay. Yeah, it has been very stressful, and I did try to get them to do the right thing. And even with the stuff that they did remove, they didn't remove all the interest charges. As a matter of fact, when I talked to them, they said, well, we removed $5,000. And I said, well, I really appreciate that, but I noticed that you didn't remove the interest from the day that the transaction occurred. And he said, no, we only do it from the date that we decided it was fraud. And I said, you just can't do that. That's not correct. So.
Well, that's what I said at the beginning of the show, is that they do anything they, Okay, unfortunately, and I feel bad, but what I'm saying, hopefully, I have to word this carefully. If it was me and I've been damaged or harmed by their reporting like this, I would certainly pursue a claim against them, because the time and money and energy and stress that I get to deal with people on a daily basis, Chad gets to talk to the people who are trying to get things done like yourself, I think you should be compensated for that. Now, that's just me talking, and I would want to be compensated for that. Okay, so.
And how much would compensation, what kind of compensation is there for that? I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, well, it depends on what your damage would be. If I run into the back of Tad's car with my car and I cause $100,000 worth of damage, then what is Tad's claim?
Yeah, $100,000
at least.
Or more.
Or more. That's at least, yes. If I damage the car $100,000, he's not going to say ask for $10,000, right? Okay, there you go.
Correct.
So that depends. Again, if you want to call Tad and do a coaching, I highly recommend it. I think it's money well invested.
Okay.
And if you happen to know an attorney, and you're in Virginia?
I am in Virginia.
Oh, yeah, beautiful. If you happen to have an attorney there that we can talk to, we can help them along the way, get you some remedy. Okay.
Okay, awesome. I don't have one currently, but
well, okay. You might know somebody who knows somebody. That kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
People like you and
Thank you.
I talk to wonderful people every day. They just need simple remedy. It's there. We just need the help to get it, not from taking. I've cleaned reports 6 years, and what did the people get? They got the report clean. They spent money. They whatever damaged it. What? Now we want to get paid for their damaging us. I do.
Okay.
That's what
yeah, I would like to. That would be great.
Okay.
It would be great because you know what? I'm helping a lot of people, and that would help me help others.
And and then people trying to get refinanced and stuff like that, and get arms, and it's very important. The world is credit. So are you a member of CAD's Academy?
Academy.
No, I'm not. I just learned about my friend said I have to do something this evening. Will you listen to this call? And I said sure. So I've been taking notes.
You have the right.com. As far as getting things off your credit report, suing and cashing in on bad credit, that's what we're focused on, and you should join. And those people you want to help, if that's the issue you're helping them with, they should join too.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So I think you said your site is You Have the Right site.
That's my YouTube channel, but my website is youhavetheright.com. Y-O-U. You have the right.
Okay, got it.
We appreciate this call. I hope it's very fruitful for you in the future. And
I thank you so much. Yes, I plan on sharing. I want to see people get things fixed properly and get the assistance they need.
Right, for sure. That's what CAD's about.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, 806 area code, you're next.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Hello.
Great, you can hear me. I had applied for my credit report from 3 different reporting agencies and received a letter from each one and at that point I gave up, but each one said, we cannot send you the one at this time. And I just was like, well, shoot, it was frustrating. And I just wondered what I would need to do because I'm a member and I want to do the course, but how do I get a credit report? I know it sounds stupid because I've done it before, but I never got that before.
We give you 3 locations that you can go to. Yes.
Okay.
We give you 3.
Then that's good.
Many,
that's all I need to know.
Right. You can go to Experian.
Exactly.
Tell us who did you write, and they told you that. I've never heard that one before.
As I recall, it was Transunion, Equifax, and LexisNexis.
And they told you they cannot give you a report?
Correct.
By law.
And I don't have the letter here with me, although it's up in my office.
By law, they have to give you a report if you ask for one. They are obligated to give you one every year. So.
Right. Okay.
Find
or if
the
you're
letters.
Denied credit. Okay.
Absolutely. Find the letters.
Yeah.
I will look up the law and get it to TAD within the next couple of days, and you will do a CFPB complaint, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau complaint. You can do it online or you can do it by hand. And you want to send a copy of that letter and say, these people are denying me. That is an absolute right. I've heard them say other stuff. We don't have enough information. Send us, more, whatever. But they can't send you.
Right.
That's impossible.
Okay. That's awesome. And then we will learn. I know how to read it from my history, but do we learn again in that course? We go over how to read it in the course?
There's so many
different on the web.
ones. I don't think. I don't. Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah, how to read your credit report, how to find negative items.
Yeah, I just want to start at 0, step by step, and then just go for this.
Yes, I have a video, and we show a copy of a credit report and what it looks like.
Okay, awesome. And then what about the online credit reports, like through not Cash App, but Credit Karma or any of those Experian ones? I think it's Experian that has an online credit report. Do we do that, or do we just need a paper one? Is that the best thing to do?
Experian should give you all 3.
Oh, okay.
Online. I know Downing's been having some issues with them lately. That doesn't mean that you will. So you go try Experian. And they're kind of tricky. You know, you have to go to all reports, and then you got to click here and click there and click here, and then you have to print out the report. You print it out.
Okay.
You can print it to a PDF and save it on your computer.
Okay.
For everyone on the call, I recommend everyone, including the young lady, get Credit Karma also. Credit Karma is free. It's free for a reason. They're not very accurate, which is okay, but I like them because they generally report 2 weeks earlier than the other agencies. So they will send you they're kind of falling off in my opinion, the last year or so. But let's say someone does an inquiry on your credit report, they'll send you an email saying you just hit an inquiry. If you go out and buy something, they'll say, hey, did you make this $1,000 purchase? So they're very good about that. And so it's free. It's free. Why doesn't everybody, if you got Experian or if you have free credit score or smart credit, whatever you have, add that as a tool, free Credit Karma. And they will update you when they do it. They used to do a very, very good job at that. But they still, it's a good service to have.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks so much. I'll find the letters and be in touch, but I'm going to start at the beginning of the course and just be dumb and just start at the beginning.
That's what we all did, young lady.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
We're still learning. Okay.
All right, you bet.
Let's see.
Okay. 816.
One thing, for the lady who called in and was in Virginia with the ID theft, if they still don't take it off your report, I want you to get in touch with Tad if you don't. So I want you to do all that, the ID theft stuff, send it all in, and if they still leave it in there, then make sure you get in touch with Tad. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I meant to tell her that. Go ahead.
816 area code. Go ahead.
Okay, this is for real right. Hi, Ted.
Hello.
And your guest, I didn't catch the name. Donnie. Okay, thank you, Donnie. Okay, I have a couple of things. What to do if denied credit for too few accounts and or no balance in the new checking account? That was the letter that I got.
You always send in an adverse action letter, and you support it with a complaint to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that you were denied credit. When you are denied credit for any reason, that is discrimination. Whether you have $1 million in the bank, whether your credit score is 200, if you are denied, that is discrimination. So your complaint is you have been discriminated against. Under the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, you have the right to credit. Now, if there's no money in your bank account, I don't know that one, but if you want to send that letter over to Tad, we'll take a look at it. Okay. If you want to email him. Are you a member of his group, of his academy?
Academy.
Oh, I just learned about it. I've just learned about it. I don't know. What is the price? What is the cost for it?
It's the membership, $37 a month.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that in addition to your fee, Ted, to your membership fee?
If you're already a member, then you have access to it. You just got to log in.
Okay, good. Secondly, on my home that was fraudulently foreclosed on Washington State, Chase came in supposedly as being sold from Washington Mutual, acquiring the account from Washington Mutual when Washington Mutual was shut down by the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency or whoever they sent it, shut them down. But the fact is, Chase didn't have anything. But the key point is that, and I took it to court, and Chase, having no place in the title, said that, and we were doing a modification to get the payments down while I handled the whole case, and they said on the second payment, I was watching for the deposit, and it never came through, and I got a call. I was going to call on Monday, and on Saturday I got a call from the woman we were working with at Chase, and the first thing she said, she asked her to me to identify, and I said yes, and And she said, the first thing she said is, are you going to sue Chase? And I said, I don't know. Why do you ask? And she said, because if you are, I have to hang up. I said, oh, well, I don't know. I might, but I don't know. And I said, I want to ask you a question, Millennial. I said, why hasn't Chase deposited my second payment for the modification? Because you see, I sent them both the first and the second. I had them all right there made out, and I sent it certified mail, return receipt requested. So she said, oh, I don't know, let me go check. So she went and checked, and she came back, and she said that check was returned NSF, not sufficient funds. I said, that's not true. It was never deposited. And I said, I've been watching my online account. It's never been deposited. And so I said, send me a copy of that canceled check where it says that on it. Well, they never did. What they finally sent me was a copy of the check I sent them. And, of course, everybody knows that if you receive an NSF check, it's got that marked on the face of the check as well as on the back. And so I presented that in the court case. The court, just by they transferred it to the district from the court, from the first judge on the granted me an order, and he didn't need
okay,
for him
you're breaking up really bad. We can't hardly hear a word you're saying.
Okay, can you hear me any better now?
So far.
Okay, and anyway, both judges gave away my home on the basis of a missed payment that was never missed, that it was never deposited. What do you have to say about that? And now that I'm out of that home, they evicted us from it after I came here. That's in Washington State. I'm here in Kansas City taking care of my folks' stuff, my folks' property in Missouri right now in Kansas City.
Really, the focus of tonight's call is the cashing in on bad credit. If you have a credit report issue, then we can probably cover that. But I think foreclosures and these kind of in-depth issues are kind of getting beyond the scope of what we're intending for tonight.
Well, how about the overall program, Donnie? Is that the way it is?
Yes, but there's going to be, if Chad has me back down the road, we can address issues like that. We're not completely set up for that at this time. Chad is right. But that's not unusual what you've gone through. It's nothing new. I get stories like that from around the country. But there are some things being put in place, and if you're a member, we appreciate it. Just stay a member. And I know everybody, including me, wants it yesterday. It just doesn't happen that quickly, but it's happening. I can assure you it's happening, and you will get redressed at some point, okay?
Okay, so, I mean, that's definitely wrong.
Absolutely, a lot of other things. So, but like I said, we will address that. And Tad's not trying to put you off. It's just that, seriously, just to get to this point, this is a 6-year project to get to what we're bringing for you and the rest of the clients. So, and it's still evolving. It's still evolving. Every day I spend 4 hours of research a day. So what your issue is something others have. It will be addressed. It is being addressed, but at this point right now, we can't address it correctly.
Okay.
All right, Burrell. Thank you.
Okay. I had requested a report from Equifax, and the file that they sent me. Now this was last October. And thank you for requesting your credit file, commonly called a consumer credit report. Your credit contains information received primarily from companies which have granted you credit and from public record sources. Great care has been taken to report this information correctly. And it goes on, if there are items you believe to be incorrect, you may be able to initiate an investigation. Request via the internet, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Give the address. And it, okay, let me turn the page here.
Okay, so that's just standard verbiage. Are there any negative items on your report?
Okay, I'm turning the page. One item, consumers have the right to obtain. Last reported, this doesn't even have partner the accelerator group. There was well, why don't you go on to somebody else and I'll stay in the queue. I'll get back in the queue because I thought I had it right in front of me.
All right. Okay, thank you. Okay, 267, go ahead.
Hey, Ted. This is the Mouthy Sailor here. How you doing?
Oh, you got a mouth on you.
Don't say that too
loudly. This is
loudly.
a family show.
It's good to hear your voice again.
Yeah, you too. What's going
on? You know, I've been down but not out.
Okay.
You know, just keeping a low profile lately, and I really appreciate you and Dan, you know, bringing some refreshing information here, and you guys will be hearing from me and maybe Chris again here real soon.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a threat.
No, it's more like a promise.
Oh, okay.
We can run for the hills.
So, do you have any other comments or questions or anything?
No. Well, I will say that my connection has been dropped at least twice since I joined the call.
Wow.
And but you know, that's about it. I've been keeping up with my studies, and you know, I'm really here as a listener right now.
Okay.
So.
All right. Thank you, Sailor.
Sir.
Get in touch with me again.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next caller, 424. Oops, hold on. There we go.
Hi, this is from Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri. I had a question regarding these credit agencies. Are all these credit agencies, are they in the commercial chamber?
You mean the Chamber of Commerce?
No, I mean in the commercial, other than, like, what I'm trying to say is that if they're in the commercial and they're putting all our stuff on their credit reports, and these are personal loans or personal credit, and they're putting it in the commercial. So I was saying, well, if you did a UCC 11 to your Secretary of State and do a certified commercial search, it came up empty on mine. So if these are commercial, it would show up on the UCC 11. Would that be correct?
Donnie?
I know very little about the UCC process. I know people who attempt to do that, but I have not studied that.
I know this. The UCC reflects a contract between two people, a very clear express contract. And it's a lien against personal property, and that's about it.
Okay.
They can't lien you.
Well,
they can't lien you because they never loaned you anything.
Well, with the identity theft and this being private information, and they're using it though, but in the commercial chamber, and it shouldn't be in that. So if you, like I said, well, this is what I've done. I've done the UCC 11, and I got it back. It had no search results on it, so I went ahead and got it notarized.
Okay.
Then I got all my credit reports and just picked through and took everything out that what wasn't supposed to be in there, and I sent it to the credit agencies to remove that stuff off of my credit report. I haven't gotten any results back, but I was just trying to see if I was on the right path.
I don't think that the UCC is really related to those things. I guess is what I'm trying to tell you. So.
Okay. What about if you were to put all these items on your credit report in a trust?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. I was just trying to do these different ideas, and I've been doing some research and see what I can find out.
But if put them to work, I don't recommend anybody do anything. Okay. I don't know 100% what I'm talking about. I don't guess. It's too important. Everybody's doing serious or wants to do serious commercial transactions, and I'm not going to guess until you, Chad, or anybody in this call. Maybe we don't do that. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you on that.
But
I appreciate it.
But keep going.
I'll let you guys know what comes up with me. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. Okay, so Donnie, we've been on here an hour and a half, and I think it's probably time to hang it up.
Okay, brothers, it's up to you. We appreciate everybody that's called. Good luck to everybody. Please stay in touch with Tad. Everything I mentioned, if you don't have, please, I will get it. Sometimes I forget. Tad, make sure, just, hey, where's that document? I will get it to you. I want everybody to go out and have success.
All right, you guys. If you're not a member of youhavetheright.com, please go do it. And go through the course. We'll be adding more to it as time goes on to make it better. So, and we will have other calls here. So, Donnie, thank you for joining, and everybody else, thank you too. And good night.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye.